Welcome to the Commander Lab. I am Ken.
And I'm PJ.
And boy, oh boy, what an announcement from Wizards of the Coast. PJ, we have some Marvel heroes joining the universe. How do you feel?
This is incredibly exciting. Something new that I think Magic is going towards, a lot of collaborations with a bunch of big names.
Mhm.
And this is one of the first ones outside of Lord of the Rings that we've seen. Some new cards, and we're super excited about this.
Yeah, I mean, they usually do like universes beyond and cross universe stuff, but like Marvel, these were so exciting to see. They announced it at Comic Con today, and already I'm building decks in my head. So let's go over some of the new heroes because we got 5 of them right now. All right, first up, why don't you take this one? Black Panther.
Sure, Black Panther, Wakandan King, a green and a white legendary creature. He is actually a new creature type that we have never seen before. Hero, so he's a
Mhm.
human noble hero. Has first strike, survey the realm. Whenever Black Panther or another creature you control enters, put a 1+1/+1 counter on target land you control. And then he has Mind Vibranium for 3. Move all +1/+1 counters from target land you control onto target creature. If one or more +1/+1 counters are moved this way, you gain that much life and you draw a card. There's a lot of words here.
That is a lot of words.
Um, Quick thoughts about this.
Mhm.
Black Panther, kind of a leader of all, and the realm that he's in is land makes a lot of sense. This is something that
Mhm.
we've never seen before. Putting counters on lands
Yeah.
as lands. Normally, what happens is you turn your lands to creatures, and then you could put counters on them. But this
Mhm.
is you're putting +1/+1 counters on only lands. This
Yeah.
is new.
So what's interesting about this is obviously, so we can talk about the flavor. I mean, I love that it's life gain. I love that he's getting rich off the land because that's the whole vibranium Wakanda thing. But it kind of also screams to me that latest Commander Precon with, I think it was Simic as well, where they make the land any type or something like that. You put a counter on it, like an anything counter or everything counter rather,
Everything land. Yep,
and you can
everything
make
is.
that land
Yep.
whatever you want. But like, not only does they do the counters thing that Selesnya does so well, green and white, but it also lets you draw a card and you gain life. What do you think?
Yeah, this is, like I said, a lot of words, a lot going on here, and just this new mechanic to me is it's interesting. Not something that I'm super well versed in playing. I think
Mm-hmm.
counters and green and white are really not my thing. I think this is something that might be new and exciting to try. I think they're really pushing the limits with these cards, especially being 2 CMC. You
Yeah,
can
it's
get them
wild.
down super quick. I think you just play a bunch of small creatures, get a bunch of 1/1
Mm-hmm.
counters on your lands, turn those lands into creatures, and then turn them sideways and start swinging at people.
It's wild, and it's what's so interesting here is whenever Black Panther. So as soon as he comes in on 2, you're getting a +1/+1 counter, but another creature, not non-token creatures, and
Any
as you
creature.
know, white makes a lot of tokens.
Yep. Yep. I recently just built Balin and he makes tokens, 5, 12 tokens a turn. So like there's tons and tons of ways to get super simple creatures out, a bunch of them all at once too, to trigger his abilities.
And I think like even for the mind vibranium part, you could do that. Let's say you pay into that twice, then you gain that much life and you get to draw cards. So you could draw 2 cards by paying 6 and you make one of your creatures ridiculously strong.
Yeah,
Not to
you can move.
mention that he
Sorry,
has first strike too.
yeah, so he kind of has a little bit of a defensiveness too. So either
Mm-hmm.
he can attack and kind of hit that damage first, or he can kind of protect himself by having first strike if you can make him bigger himself.
And it's interesting because if you look at it, I think he's more of like an empowerment kind of commander because even in the art, he's flanked by 2 warriors. Like, you two are going to do the dirty work, but
Hmm.
I'm going to buff you before you go.
Yep.
How do you
Yeah,
feel
and
about the
just like
flavor?
I think the art is it's perfect. I think this
Yeah.
just him standing behind the 2 warriors saying, "Hey, you guys are gonna go do what you do best. I got your back. I'm gonna make you as strong as possible to do what you do."
All right. This is awesome. You ready for the next one?
I'm ready for the
Let's
next
do
one.
it. All right, Captain America. This one is, I would say, like my, second favorite because there's a big one coming. But Captain America, First Avenger. Interestingly, red, white, blue. We normally don't see these pips in that
Mhm.
combination. Usually it's not like that. But they did that specifically for the flavor, which was a big win for me. Legendary creature, human soldier. Throw, pay 3, unattach and equipment from Captain America. He deals damage equal to that equipment's mana value divided as you choose among 1, 2, or 3 targets. I love that. Catch. At the beginning of combat on your turn, attach up to 1 target equipment you control to Captain America. I think honestly, there's a lot of words here too. I feel like they could have reversed that, like start with catch, then throw, but they had to do it this way because he's throwing it first. That's how he operates, and then he catches it back. But it pinging 1, 2, or 3, I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I agree, and I think this works just the on itself being an individual card. It's so cohesive with itself. So
Yeah.
you have an equipment on it. You could pay your 3, unattach it, shoot something to get it out of the way, move to combat, automatically attach what you just unequipped to him back to him,
Yeah.
and then if you have the mana, you can unattach it again and shoot more targets.
It's
So it's just
amazing.
like he's gonna be basically kind of like a board control type of creature. While if you have big equipments, then you could just shoot people in the face if you don't want to take out their creatures.
I mean, why not? And it's really good that you said board control because that's what Cap does, right? He really
Yep.
takes when he hits in the battlefield, he does some damage, but he's also looking out for everybody, kind of maybe smacking up some Black Panther tokens that are getting too big, something
Yeah.
like that. But honestly, the fact that, like you said, attach something, boom, hit everybody, and then it's off, and then attach it again for free at the beginning of combat, do some damage, boom, pay 3, ding, 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 again. It's so good.
He's like a very toolboxy Voltron commander.
Yeah.
So you could buff him with the equipment, but then use that equipment in ways that we've never been able to use it before. Now you could just, hey, I'm going to pay 3 damage, take this off of him. I'm going to get
Mhm.
3 creatures out of the way, or I'm going to shoot every opponent for this much damage.
Yeah, I think they did just a super awesome job with this. It
And
is
I
a
like that
4/4.
it's and I like that it's targets, not just target creatures or target
Yep.
opponents. I like that you can target anything with it.
Yeah, you can't limit Captain America First Avenger, that's for
Yep.
sure. So let's look at the next one. Iron Man, go for it.
This was probably my first or second favorite. It's up there. So
Okay.
Iron Man, Titan of Innovation, 3 generic, a blue and a red, legendary artifact creature, human hero. He has flying and haste, 4/4. Genius, industrialist.
Mhm.
Whenever Iron Man attacks, create a treasure token. Then you may sacrifice a non-creature artifact. If you do, search your library for an artifact card with mana value equal to 1 plus the sacrifice artifact mana's value. Put it onto the battlefield, then then shuffle, tap, then shuffle. Sorry.
Yeah.
So this is an artifact birthing pod.
Yeah.
So he has haste. So you play him, hits the battlefield, go to combat, swing immediately, make your treasure token. The first turn you get him, you could sacrifice that treasure token, go get your soul ring on
Yep.
turn the turn that he comes down if you don't have it already.
It's awesome.
This is going to be another very toolboxy commander where
Mhm.
you can surprise people because in combat, once this ability's on the stack, they don't know what you're going to go search for.
Yeah.
So like they have to decide, am I going to try to interact and blow up that artifact or an artifact that you have
Uh-huh.
before you move to combat? Or are they going to let you go to combat, resolve this attack trigger, and then surprise them with something? You
And
never know.
it's so interesting too that they decided to make him a legendary artifact
Yes.
creature. That
Yes.
has a lot of potential because there's so many cards that protect your artifacts, make them
Yep.
indestructible, make them hexproof. Like they
Mhm.
do a lot of great things, and he can just attack. Before you think I'm gonna hit you, boom, boom, boom. This is happening instead. I'm now indestructible. I'm double strike, whatever it is. But he's gonna be a problem.
Yeah. This is definitely one of the ones that I really had my eyes set on from the beginning. I liked him a lot. I think just being able to cheat bigger artifacts out, it's a nice thing to have.
Yeah, I think so too. All right. Listen, I know you like Wolverine, so I'm gonna let you take this one too. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
because I let you take the last one. I know you want the last one. All right, so this is Wolverine Bester is. This is the other one of my choices, which this one might be my favorite one from the set,
It's so good.
based on the way I play. One generic, a red and a green, legendary creature, mutant berserker hero,
Nice.
unrivaled lethality, double all damage Wolverine would deal. At the beginning of each end step, if Wolverine dealt damage to another creature this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on him. And then, just for flavor, because this is what they did with this set, one in a green, regenerate Wolverine. The next time he will be destroyed, instead tap him, remove all from combat, remove all damage from him. Wolverine, he just regenerates himself. This is what he does. Putting that on there, obviously, just a nice flavor, and it works perfectly. And dealing double damage to no matter what he does, any
Uh-huh.
spell, any combat damage, any tricks that you may have, double it.
It's insane. And it's what's interesting too, like the double old damage on Wolverine, like people could just stop reading there and be like, this is my new commander. It's fine. But I think like the devil's in the details because it says at the beginning of each end step, if Wolverine dealt damage to another creature this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on them. There's so many forced combat or fighting mechanics that you can do with Wolverine, or like this creature pings this, then you're just building him up and
Mhm.
it doubles all the damage. So by the time it gets back to you, like 1, 2, 3, he's now like a 5/5, and then you could just slam something down in red that says this does damage equal to its power to whatever target. That's 10. That could be
Mhm.
10. It could
Yep.
you could do crazy things with him.
Yep. And then just being kind of like another pseudo Voltron commander, you only got to get him to 11 power, smack somebody, he's going to deal double damage. There's your 21 commander damage right there. And then I think the card that everybody's probably thinking of being in red is Chandra's Ignition.
Yeah.
Get him to 8 to 10 power, play Chandra's Ignition. He's doing 16 damage to each creature, meaning that he's also then going to trigger again at the end step because he dealt
Mhm.
damage to another creature this turn. And then he's going to deal 16 damage to each player as well.
It's just absurd. This was one of the cards when they revealed them like these are to be a problem. But
Yeah. Your
last
favorite. Your
and
favorite.
and
Go ahead.
certainly not least, Storm Force of Nature. So the reason I am going absolutely crazy for this card is because it's colors. It's Teamer, which I wholeheartedly love. I have my Riku deck right here because I was gonna play out Spell Table in a little bit. But like Teamer is just one of those color combinations that I feel is so strong, but it's like hindered in so many ways. So let's go over it. One
Yep.
generic, green, blue, red, Storm Force of Nature, legendary creature, mutant hero. Flying Vigilance, Ceaseless Tempest. Whenever Storm deals combat damage to a player, the next instant or sorcery spell you cast this turn has Storm, and she's at 3/4. This is going to be so delicious. I can just imagine folks pumping her up with these little 1 or 2 drop spells, hitting you and just hitting you with something that's like, oh, by the way, I'm taking extra combats. I'm doing something nutty. What do you think?
I think this is just by your excitement. Sorry. Your excitement alone is just what this card is going to be capable of. I
Yeah.
think um my thought was you just play a bunch of 0 drop artifacts, a bunch of low cost spells, like you
Yep.
said, in your pre combat main phase. Go to combat, hit somebody, and then play a big juicy spell in your second main phase or at the end of combat after damage that just then copies itself 5, 6, 7 times based on how many spells you played this turn. It could go absolutely nutty. I
It's gonna
feel
go
like.
crazy. It's gonna go crazy. And the fact that it's vigilance too, it's like very good because she has a lot of poise, but she also has to get in there, which I like. She
Yep.
has some evasion, obviously. We don't play infinites in our pods. We don't play infinites. I can see people making her go infinite combat so easily. We were talking about a little bit about
Yep.
just most of these extra combat spells in red are sorceries, but there's so many cards that let you play sorceries at instant speed.
Yes. Yeah, there's the blue ley line, there's Vidalcan Ori. I think this is a pseudo infinite, we could say. I think this is something where it's you do your combat damage, you played 6 spells, you go to your second main, you play that extra combat spell that now is
Mhm.
going to copy 7 times. You're going to get 7 extra combats, which by the way, every time you then do combat damage with her in those extra combats, the next spell can then get Storm if you play another one. So
It's
I think it's
insane.
like a pseudo combat. You're gonna get so many combats. People are just like, all right, we're just gonna scoop. We're not gonna watch you go through 7, 8 more combats, and then I think this is like it's gonna be something that could be very, very strong. It has the right colors to do it. It has
It,
ramp. It has blue in case you need to do any control shenanigans, and then it
mhm.
has your red, which is you're gonna get all your extra combats and big burn spells from.
It's gonna be so fun to play, not sit on the other side of, depending on your rule zeros, because this is gonna be one of those infinite commanders, absolutely. But I cannot wait just to pump her and just smack people, or just go something crazy, just do something nuts, because it's Teamer. Sky's the
Yep.
limit in Teamer in these colors.
Yep.
So real quick, just to go to the beginning, who do we have? What's the lineup? Shout it out, PJ.
All right. Captain America, Wolverine, Black Panther, Iron Man, and Storm. Some of
So
the
good.
staples and names that you know from the Marvel universe. These are the ones that have been around forever. You know them, and I think they really brought them to life in Magic the Gathering. I think they did a very good job. The artworks are fantastic. I think the flavor on every card is fantastic. I think the way that they built them, it's so good. I really, really like all of them.
I'm really excited about this. This is a secret layer drop. I usually don't do secret layers, but I might have to for this. I'm building Storm. That's pretty obvious. Who are you building first?
I probably am gonna build Wolverine first.
Oh, I knew you
I
were gonna
like my
say
big
that.
gruel
Oh
stompy,
my god.
fight people, punch people in their face, and do as much damage as I can.
Oh my god. Well,
It's my
that.
favorite.
I love spell slinging. That's my favorite.
Yep.
Well, that
Yep.
is the episode. Thank you so much for joining us. I am Ken.
And I'm PJ.
Make sure to keep playing.
We're tapping out.
See you later.